Hello everyone, welcome back. So today I just want to talk for a minute about book hauls and why I do book hauls and why I don't mind when other people do book hauls. So there's a debate on Booktube, and it really tends to be in the comments, but sometimes I hear Booktubers talk about it also, and they will talk about how people do book hauls in order to put up content, that it's shallow and that it's consumerist and materialistic. And I think those are valid points. I'm not going to say that they are not. But I know that, for me personally, I may be not seeing what they're seeing because I tend not to watch certain videos. I don't watch, there goes the frog, I don't tend to watch videos where people buy 200 books, 300 books, 500 books, or videos where people buy heaps of brand new books and they do it all the time and that sort of thing. So that's really beyond the scope of what I'm talking about. What I am talking about is that I am not bothered. Sorry for the frog. He wasn't making any noise when I was starting this. But anyway, so I'm not bothered when I watch book haul videos because the ones I tend to watch are of people talking about used books that they've bought, or they've bought books that they are really, really interested in and have been looking for some time, looking forward to. Now, I like to see that. I like to see what other people are interested in. I like to get an idea of what their tastes are, and I like to see people get excited about reading and about having books. And I don't think that it is wrong for a person to have books in their home and to look forward to reading them at some point, whether that point is today or tomorrow or a year from now or 15 years from now. Which is not to say some people don't have buying problems. And I think once you get to the point where you are buying books specifically to show them on your channel, then you have developed a problem. That goes into a whole different category, and it's not what I'm talking about here. So the reason I personally like to do book hauls is for the same reason that I enjoy watching book hauls, which is that I would like for the people who watch my channel to get to know me through the books that I like to watch. Through the books that I like to read, and through the books that I go out to look for. And I buy a lot of used books. I only buy used books. I don't read ebooks. I don't listen to audiobooks. I don't buy new books. I only buy and read used books at this point in my life. And I buy a lot of kind of obscure books that other people may not know about, but they may have never seen before, never heard of before, didn't know existed. And I like to share those with other people because they may see those books and go, wow, I've never heard of, that biography of William Colby or the autobiography of William Colby. I've never seen The Armies of Ignorance. I have never seen, whatever it is. And I think it sometimes can help people find books that they're interested in. I don't think that is a vile display of consumer capitalism on my part or in the part of others. I think it's just sharing and enjoying books. I like to look at books. One of my favorite things in the whole world is to go to a bookstore or a library or a thrift store and wander around and look at the books. I don't have to buy books to enjoy them. I don't have to bring books home to enjoy them. I sometimes just like to go and stand by them and look through them and go, well, isn't this neat? And the fact of the matter is, since I started my channel and since I started doing book haul videos over this past 11 months, I buy way, way less books than I did before I had a channel. I mean by quite quite a bit, because by doing book haul videos, I have to sit there and show them to the camera and talk about them. And when I first started my channel, I realized that, man, I buy a lot of books. And I have a lot of books. And, you know, maybe this has gotten a little bit out of hand. And I really started to think about that. And I have vastly scaled down the amount of books that I buy. And I have bought less books in the last 11 months than I probably did in the 6 months before I started the channel, and the 6 months before that, and the 6 months before that. You know, after 2020, 2021, and 2022, I kind of went a little bit wild buying books. I'm free to admit that. All used books. I very rarely spend more than $3 on a book. I mostly spend $1.59 on books, because most of the books I buy at Goodwill. And, you know, the books there are $1.59. And in 2022 and 2021, all the books at Goodwill's were $1. Hardcovers and paperbacks, they were all $1, at least around here. So, yeah, I went a little wild then. But I just wanted to talk about this for a minute, because it's an issue I see talked about a lot on Booktube in the comments and that sort of thing. Not on my videos. People are very kind to me, and I'm really lucky in that respect. But yeah, I just don't have a problem with book hauls the way that other people tend to, and I guess I don't see them the same way that other people do. And like I said, I could see it if I was buying, you know, 100 books a month or 500 books a month, just to show them off to the camera. And I think that some people do buy that many books just to show them off to the camera. And I don't, you know, that's where you get into that whole consumer materialism thing. But I don't think that the $30 a month that I spend on books are a you know, materialistic flex. I parked near a $400,000 Rolls Royce about 3 weeks ago. That seemed like a capitalist, consumerist, materialist flex to me. I live near Lexington, Kentucky, and there are many, many, many wealthy people around here. There are houses within a mile of my own where just the wooden fence around their property cost more than my house. You know, so maybe I have a different view of things. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling now. I just wanted to talk for a minute about book hauls, why I do book hauls, why I like to watch other people's book hauls, and why I don't think that everyone who does book hauls is just out for clicks and content and, you know, manufacturing content. I don't do that. I do it to share my books with you and to get feedback from you and to have a discussion about books and to introduce you to books that maybe you wouldn't find if I didn't hold them up on the camera and show them. I know I found a lot of books that way, and I just see it as a form of sharing. I don't see it as you know, as a flex or anything like that. I just see it as a form of sharing, and it wouldn't feel right for me to buy books and not share them with you. And like I said, I buy way less books now that I am accountable for how many books that I have. Now that I see in a video, when I get the stack in front of me and I go, wow, I bought all these books. Do I really need all these books? I mean, am I even going to read all these books? And sometimes I've noticed that the answer to that, especially when I had just started my channel, was, this is interesting, but this really isn't my cup of tea, you know. And so book hauls have really helped me that way. And yeah, I'm sorry, I just wanted to talk about that for a minute. It's really warm out here today. It's almost 90, and I'm getting a little hot, and I'd like to go back inside, I think. But I want to thank you for watching. I hope it's not too windy. I hope the video is not as shaky as it was on the last video. And I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.